Dubois is coming into his own, man. That's what that is. He's only like 27, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming into his. That guy's fucking scary.
I think I've shown that in my last 3 fights that I'm totally different. I'm more confident, believe myself more and whatever.
Do you think this Dubois is a much better?
He's dangerous. That's how Joe Rogan described Daniel Dubois after watching his latest training footage, and he didn't stutter. On his podcast, Rogan sat wide-eyed as he reacted to clips of the 27-year-old heavyweight slamming the heavy bag with thudding combinations, moving like a middleweight, and throwing crisp, practicing his explosiveness that sounded like shotgun blasts. This guy's a problem, Rogan continued. He's big, he's athletic, and now he's technical too? That's scary. It's not just show or hype. It's not just one man's opinion or a whole fan base glazing their favorite fighter. What Rogan saw and what millions are starting to realize is that this isn't the same Daniel Dubois we saw crumble against Usyk in their first fight. No, this version is sharper, stronger, and out for redemption. And he's training like a man who wants more than just a win. He wants to make a statement and show that he's ready to conquer boxing.
I'm just ready for war, ready to win. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be totally different from last time, you know. I've just grown up and I've learning more about myself as a man. So I can't wait to put on a show and become undisputed. Just do the business.
TalkSport's Spencer Oliver, a former European champion, recently caused a stir when he predicted a Dubois victory on TalkBoxing. He said, Daniel Dubois beats Alexander Usyk. He has improved dramatically physically and mentally. That this is a completely different fight. Oliver emphasized the effect of Usyk's grueling battles with Tyson Fury, a lot of miles on the clock, versus Dubois' younger, tougher version following dominant wins over Hrgovic, Miller, and Joshua. He believes Dubois has both the hunger and the refined tools to topple Usyk.
I can't wait. I think the world can't wait. I want this to be a real epic battle and a monster event, so
Instead of spiraling after that loss to Usyk, he rebuilt. In just under 2 years, Dubois has flipped the narrative. He returned with renewed focus, switching up his training approach and taking on tougher competition. He knocked out Jarrell Miller in emphatic fashion, ignoring pressure and proving he could go deep. Then came Filip Hrgovic, another brutal battle, another statement KO. Each win wasn't just about adding another W to his record. It was personal. It was about erasing doubt. And now even the big names are curious to see what Dubois has to offer. For now, Dubois has called for an all-out war.
What did you take away? I mean, you took away a loss, and I think that Alexander, I don't think it was a low blow, but I did think he beat you in the end. But and beat you convincingly, Daniel. But what did you take away from that fight?
It wasn't just a fight. It was a lot more than just a fight. It was a lot more. But I've rebuilt from it. I was in a dark place and I came out of it, and that's the main thing. I come out of it, and I can't wait for this one. It's going to be a bloodbath, and I'm really looking.
How'd you feel? This time you're going to go to Wembley, and you're going to fight in 90,000 fans. Last time you went there, everyone was ready to put the crown on top of Anthony Joshua, and you upset that. You're going in front of 90,000 fans now that will be potentially cheering you on. How do you feel about going to that environment with all the support potentially on your side?
It doesn't matter if they're cheering him on or
doesn't bother you.
Don't matter. I love the sport and fighting to win.
Final prediction: how does it end? Daniel Dubois against Alexander Usyk, July the 19th.
War, epic bloodbath, and like I said, I'm gonna stop him. That's what I'm gonna do.
Former undisputed champion Lennox Lewis, the last British heavyweight legend, went further calling Dubois the only man with the style and power to defeat Usyk. Lewis said Dubois was on the brink of immortal status and dubbed him the King Slayer. When someone of Lewis's pedigree names Dubois as the most credible challenger, you know the scale of this fight has shifted.
He's been sitting back in the background saying, you know, I've been boxing all these fights and, you know, I want respect. And by beating Anthony Joshua, you know, he'll get that respect because he's a quiet guy, doesn't say too much, but you can tell there's a lot of things on his mind. And being a heavyweight champion, is what was always on his mind. And even the fact that, you know, he got presented the belt, he wants to prove himself in the ring and go in there and say, yeah, I deserve to keep this belt. Yeah, it's kind of like a respect fight too. You know, both of the heavyweights want respect, and you know, they've been dreaming about this time in one sense. Both have different things to prove. Daniel Dubois has the fact that, you know, he wants to be the heavyweight champion of the world, and you know, he wants to be the top man in...
Still just 27, Dubois has quietly become one of the most feared men in the division. His power has always been lethal, but now there's timing, patience, and a mental sharpness that was missing before. Every shot is smarter, every round is measured, and with each fight, he's been climbing back toward the man who took his shot away. Lennox Lewis claims that all he has to do is use his power to box those jabs away.
I mean, look, if you was training Daniel Dubois, what would you be telling him? What would the advice you'd be giving him going into this?
Probably to start with your jab, keep your head moving, you know, don't get hit by jabs, you know, and go out there and box your fight.
Underdog contender Dave Allen, who sparred with Usyk and also Dubois, boldly backed Dubois to snatch victory in the rematch. He pointed to Usyk's age nearing 40 and cruiserweight frame as potential vulnerabilities. Dubois' own pride and his exceptional comeback run add fuel, making him a scary opponent for an aging champion. Allen said the following: "Despite being knocked out by Usyk in sparring, I believe Dubois will win, citing Usyk's age and natural cruiserweight build as disadvantages." Having sparred with Dubois, he showed serious signs of concern for his opponents, particularly Usyk, with how strong those jabs are.
Did you notice something good about him, and there was certain potential for big things?
I mean, I'd already done 8 rounds with Joyce and Clark, you know.
Yeah.
But he definitely had the most powerful jab I've ever. His jab was like a right hand. He had the hardest jab I've ever been hit by to this day, and I think his jab was harder than most people's right hand. That's no exaggeration. His jab, the power in his jab, really concerned me. So I wonder what was in his right hand.
Was anything clean? You said you sparred with Daniel Dubois and you felt his power as an 18-year-old kid. He's obviously matured since then as well. He's got that power, isn't he? Like that one-punch power to take anyone out. So he only has to hit him the once. That's the point, isn't it, with Usyk?
I think he does, but as hard as he hits, that's how hard Usyk is to hit clean. Usyk is just... him and Tyson Fury, I would say, were the two best by far. There's a big gap between them two and number 3. But if Dubois hits anyone, he'll knock him out for sure, yeah.
Now, with a rematch locked in and Joe Rogan calling him a dangerous force, Daniel Dubois isn't chasing respect, he's coming to take it. The kid who crumbled is long gone. What's left is a machine built for revenge. And this time, he's not looking to win on the scorecards. He's looking to leave, no doubt. Dubois himself has turned up the heat, promising a brutal finish. It's going to be a bloodbath. This isn't cheap talk, it's actually scary stuff because it's built on recent evidence, a domination of Joshua and strategic improvements in technique, timing, and mental strength. He's come a long way since 2023, and people are starting to take notice of it.
That's it, more aggression. Last 5, that's it, be aggressive. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
This all comes as we inch closer to Dubois versus Usyk 2, a rematch born from controversy. Remember that low blow? A rivalry fueled by doubt. The infamous low blow from their first fight still hangs over the matchup like a storm cloud. Dubois has never fully accepted the way that night ended, and now, with the world watching, he's rewriting the script one brutal sparring round and one relentless training session at a time.
Dubois is preparing for his title fight against Alexander Usyk in Poland. Our checking is in the gym, and Dubois is working on head movement and footwork, but preparing for his fight against Alexander Usyk in Poland this weekend. I believe with this, Daniel Dubois is going to try his best against Usyk. But Saturday night we're going to know the winner. On Saturday night we're going to know the winner between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois.
That night in Poland was supposed to be his moment, and for a split second in round 5, it looked like it was. His body shot folded Usyk only for the referee to rule it a low blow. The rest is history. Usyk recovered, Dubois hesitated, and by round 9, he was on the canvas. The world moved on, but Dubois didn't. The legality of that punch remains one of boxing's most hotly debated questions.
When Daniel hit you with that shot, I know human beings, when you get hit low, football, whatever, people, you straight away, you hold like this. When you got hit, you went down, and your body started shaking like this, yeah, your tongue. And the referee looked at you, you didn't say low, you didn't complain, you sat there, and you froze, because you were hurt. Why have you not been honest? I want to know.
Okay, it's your opinion.
It's not opinion, I'm asking your opinion.
Bro, listen, this is position, like not punch, yeah? This is. Your fighter punch me this.
Eddie Hearn, a popular boxing promoter with direct ties to both camps, was brutally honest and blunt in his assessment. Speaking on the DAZN boxing show, if you look at where the punch landed, it was a few inches away from Alexander's genitals and the protector. Anything that punches the protector is not legal. Hearn emphasized the anatomy involved. It was 8 inches below the short line. Don't get me wrong, a couple of inches higher, I think you get away with it, but if the bulk of the hands hits the protector, I don't see how it's a legal blow. He further stated that unless the referee instructs otherwise, the waistline default is the navel line, and that punch crossed it. Hearn's conclusion was firm. Legally, Dubois was in the wrong, even if it changed the fight's momentum.
Low blow or no low blow?
Again, like, I'm just going to give it to you straight, because even when I put that out on Instagram, it's like half the people are going, yeah, 100%, and the other half are going, you wouldn't say that if you were one of your fighters. Probably right.
Fair point.
No, but listen, if I was Frank Warren, I'd probably, like, your fighter's just lost. He's looking at a way to try and manoeuvre him some way. I mean, they're never going to call a rematch, but you get him back into number 1. Frank knows. Any punch below the navel is an illegal blow, right? Unless the referee, when they brings them together, says, this guy's shorts are high, this is legal, which he didn't, right? Then if you punch underneath the waistband, and there is no doubt, and there's so many different angles and freeze frames, he punches up, I don't know, once the punch goes up, it's obviously higher than where it started. The bottom of the fist was, I don't know, 10 inches below the waistband. It's hit his protector.
For Dubois' promoter Frank Warren, the scene played out very differently. He claimed Dubois deserved the knockout and was robbed. I'm disappointed with the WBA not even considering our complaint. We complained about the referee giving nearly 4 minutes when Usyk wanted to carry on after a low blow that wasn't even a low blow. Warren maintained that the low blow ruling came after prior warnings from the ref, including an alleged buildup of borderline hits, and insisted they'd continue to appeal that decision, but the WBA stood firm, refusing to overturn the result.
And you didn't bring it up. Don brought it up, and you didn't even go on to explain it properly. The referee screwed it up. I mean, you listen to the rules here. I mean, I've got the WBA rules. It should not be below the navel, and it was not below the navel. He didn't hit up the balls or anything like that. It just didn't happen. He made a meal of it, and I get that and I understand that because he was hurt. He hurt him because he doesn't like it to the body. There's loads of photographs and loads of pictures, clear as a bell, that show where the punch landed. It's not about where somebody's shorts are, that or where they end. That's not what it's about.
At worst case, you're saying a rematch should definitely be ordered.
Well, I mean, on the strength, I mean, I don't see how anybody, even Tony Bellews of this world, you know, the facts are facts, and the facts are that was not a low blow. That was a legitimate punch.
Veteran voices such as Teddy Atlas and Tony Bellew have also weighed in. Atlas criticized the commentary team for their neutral take, expressing frustration at the nonchalant dismissal of the moment. Meanwhile, Bellew argued Dubois' punch was above the solar plexus and legal, echoing fans who suggested Usyk milked the foul call.
Hey, we win, we not win. Win Alexander. What we do now, like this video, this punch, it's a bullshit. Now it's like just a talking, blah 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 blah.
When you got hit, you went down, and the body starts shaking like this.
There's this rematch with something more dangerous than hunger, a sense of purpose. He believes he was wronged, and every jab, every body shot he throws on July 19th will carry that weight. Everyone knows this isn't just about winning a title anymore. For Dubois, it's about rewriting a chapter that never sat right. He's made it clear he won't hesitate this time.
Alexander Usyk, is that realistic? You think that you can get to him again, and what would you do differently next time?
Yeah, I wouldn't let him off the hook next time. He got away lucky last time, so I need to right that wrong and get my revenge. But first things first is Parker, so yeah, not all eyes on him. Yeah, but it's in the past now. It's happened, you know. I get a chance to put that wrong right and clear up the controversy, you know. There's a lot of shit being talked about right now, but I can't wait to put him to sleep on the night.
Usyk, on the other hand, isn't just defending belts. He's got his entire legacy on the line as a man who's nearing his 40s. The pound-for-pound king wants to remove any doubt about who the better man is. Expect a smarter, sharper version of Usyk, determined to dominate without giving room for excuses or controversy. As it stands, Usyk is already planning how to celebrate his win.
Now I wanna win.
Yeah, you're
yeah. Now just sparkling water with lemon and rice and duck.
So after Daniel Dubois fight, you'd have a Guinness straight away.
Of course, big glasses, not small.
How many? Five Guinness.
Be bigger.
How many Guinness could you finish?
2 liters.
2 liters.
Yeah, like this, and a big,
The rematch feels less like a fight. It's literally a reckoning. The low blow has forced both men to return with sharpened mentalities and a point to prove. With the eyes of the boxing world watching, the question isn't just who wins, but who erases doubt once and for all.
This is. Your fighter punch me this.
But your reaction.
Stop.
Your reaction.
Yeah, reaction. Listen, you doctor.
See Shakur.
So what do you think? Will Dubois redeem himself and finally land the legal knockout blow? Or will Usyk remind everyone why he's still the master technician of the division? Drop your predictions in the comments. Hit like if you're ready for war, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be covering every twist, every round, and every controversy until the final bell.